Alright, sorry about that, guys. Now we are streaming to the correct channel.
Nice! Ah, there it is. Hey, and I didn't
Welcome.
deafen myself.
I did.
Careful. You're not a hearing doctor, you're a seeing doctor. You can't fix that. All right. Welcome everybody to Voices in the Wilderness, a 13th Age adventure. When we last left our heroes, you didn't see our heroes. You saw the curtain parted and saw talking with the players behind it. Isn't that right? Didn't you like that? Didn't you like that, you dirty viewers?
Wow.
But before that, our heroes finally met up with the Bandit Queen, discovered that through maybe with the assistance of some prophecy, assembled people she believed would be helpful or capable of leading the cause of the Bandit Queen into one area. There was a offer made and refused, and a counter offer made and refused, but ultimately everyone came out on good terms. The key thing, though, was in delivering Boss Wingspring to Boss Minerva, they found out Wingspring had been making deliveries into the large Imperial Forest, a section of it which is well known for being outside of the realm of the Archmage's wards, and ultimately leads to the loss of whoever enters it. With that, our heroes devised a plan to have Nastasia stow aboard the delivery and track her magically through the forest. But still, we're still in the city of Narohama, preparing for said plan. How's everybody's headspace?
Hunhow doesn't trust Casey.
Malkesh doesn't trust Casey.
Lissy wants to make Casey into another gem, but, you know.
That's because Lissy is crazy.
Ferris trusts Casey. You might be the only one who does, to be honest.
All right. Actually, you know what? What's everybody's thoughts on this whole Casey situation? You know that she holds 1/3 of the power of prophecy.
Well, we know
Ferris
she is 1/3.
Ferris holds another third. And the last one is in a planned heist somewhere owned by some Imperial faction. The faction they believe might be connected to this forested secret.
Well, what Hunhow knows of her is that when she learned that she more or less was a shard of prophecy, she kind of went berserk. Not very stable, little unhinged. That's why Hunhow straight up doesn't trust her.
Malkesh has no reason to trust her. She's not exactly gone out of her way to prove she's trustworthy. And on top of that, he'd much rather someone he can trust be a hold of the stuff that, you know, he's supposed to give to his boss.
Yeah, she is a bit of a stranger, and shards of prophecy aren't something they want in the hands of a stranger. Plain and simple.
Ferris just sees her as a kindred spirit. I mean, they were both used by his father to attain this goal, and he has to believe that while he was able to find some measure of redemption, that he can do the same for her. But obviously, that's going to take some convincing, and the best way to do that is to show her trust.
I think the real question is, do you think she's going to be easier to redeem after she has that power?
Well, we never really committed to what's going to happen to that next third. We're going to take it out of the Emperor's hands, but what will happen to it after that is...
I think Casey's pretty committed to that.
Yeah.
Well, her stated goal was to keep other people from using it. She never really specified. I mean, yeah, it'll probably end up going that way, but
Am I missing
I have to
something,
trust
or
her.
didn't she go out of her way to try to absorb the power out of your gauntlets for a reason? Because she kind of likes power.
That's a bit I
What,
missed.
it's what she was created to do.
Yeah. What else was she created to do?
Be a body for my father when his failed.
I mean, that we know of. That's what I'm saying. We know that, but what do we not know is really the thing. We
Yeah,
don't know
'cause
what
that
she was
worked out
really
for him.
created to do, and your father was devious enough that we really have no idea. Fun question. How do we know she's not your father?
Oh, that's a quite
Well,
good
well, he
thought.
died in my arms.
That and also there's
Really?
Hey.
Melkesh sort of reaches
Um.
into his chest and pulls out a soul. You don't say.
Hunhow just tips his head at this display. That's odd.
Listen,
Normally you
souls
can't take
are
those out.
flexible. Well, I've got a surplus, but they can go places.
Well, Ferris glances towards Lissy.
Lizzie looks behind her.
Case in point. For all we know, she's as much of a vessel as those ships are.
Well, I mean, that's the point I'm trying to make. Did you notice that Lissy got a new ship since the last time you joined us?
It only takes a little bit. If it was all of it, it'd be a very different experience, wouldn't it, Lissy?
Well, it'd be a much bigger ship.
I thought that one was floating a little higher than the rest of them.
Listen, I'm not saying we should kill her or anything like that. I'm just saying caution is where we should put caution. We don't know what she's capable of, what she's willing to go to, and for all we know, she's not at all what she seems.
Finnegan.
She is a Finnegan. Whereas that is a noble quantity when it comes to you, Ferris. I mean, now even your brother, Fizz. Casey's not even really a Finnegan. She's a homunculus.
She was made partially from our... I guess I don't really know what you would call it, our essence, our DNA. But either way, I have to believe that there's some way to use this power without being corrupted, otherwise...
I don't
There's
think
not
you're
really much
wrong,
help.
and I think you're the
No.
person to do it.
Yes,
But I
I'm just
wouldn't
not sure
take
she
anything
is.
additional to Casey.
Oh,
I mean, if you'd be interested, I do have a connection with someone who might know a little bit more about the subject matter and might be willing to enlighten us a little bit.
And who's that?
The Lich.
Ferris, let's just pretend Ferris was drinking something and then spits it out immediately.
Oh,
Listen,
Jesus.
he's a pretty reasonable guy, talking wise. Worst case scenario, he just doesn't agree with us. You
So
have
for the record, you don't trust Casey, but you're willing to throw in with the king of all the undead.
and death is certain. Can you think of a more consistent and reliable source?
That's not reassuring.
You hear a voice from pretty much near your feet. And being honest, you have all been helped by the Lich King more than you expect. Well, some of you know. And it's Amwa talking.
What?
Valkesh kind of pets Emwa in passing. Listen, talking is not going to hurt anybody. He's pretty straightforward. Worst case scenario, he offers you a deal, you say no.
Is it
And we
really
could probably
that
hit it off the
simple?
past. I think I'm just gonna say, that's not the kind of guy I want to throw in with.
Well, maybe you can gain some information about it. Information is something we sorely need, isn't it?
He has a point.
Sure, he'd want something in trade.
Maybe. To be honest, him talking to you would probably be more than enough. You can understand, a lot of people kind of just treat him that he's evil and aren't willing to talk. So he's pretty open to the people willing to just talk.
And I mean, do I have any guarantee he's not just gonna rip the gauntlet from my hand and turn me to ash? Lissy already told me that what he's after.
He's an icon, so he could do that already. Does that count?
That is not comforting.
Yeah, I'm with on how.
I mean,
that
if you
doesn't make me feel any
really
better.
wanted, you really think that his distance is the thing that's helping you? I mean, we're talking about an icon here. We're not talking about Casey or the Empire. Okay? If an icon talks to you, what do you say? No? I'm busy?
I thought you said I could just say no.
No, you can say no. I'm just saying, I think the best thing we could do is do this directly. Worst case scenario, you come away with an offer you don't want to take, you say no, and we get some information out of it anyway. Besides, I got plenty to bargain for our end.
Just out of curiosity, should we roll icon die?
What is that? What mechanic is that? I've forgotten about that.
We haven't had a heal up in a while. I mean,
I have been sitting on 2 6s for a while.
yeah. I mean, it's been a while. We could just refresh them all if you would like. Oh, because yes, I did say I would start doing it twice per thing. So take a look at your icon die. Let's do that.
Okay.
Choose one that you'd like to hold if you haven't used it before.
My icon haven't changed in like 2 levels.
I guess I'll hold a 6 from my council, and I guess since I'm at the top, I'll roll them.
Yeah.
So I'll keep only the first roll on this council one.
Know when to hold 'em. Know when to roll 'em.
Yep, so I only have the 6 from the council, and that's it.
Okay. All right, Malkish, you can hold that 5, or you can drop it.
I'll drop it.
All right, roll them all.
The first one here is just the one I'm... Never mind, so I guess I don't even need it.
You roll your planeswalker icon.
Yeah. Is that a thing you did?
Jay.
Jay?
I
So,
may have had to step out.
All right, we'll get back to Jay. Lissy, roll them all.
Well, damn.
where's your other 2 Lich King die?
Oh, right, yeah. Forgot.
I think I might have reset all of them to 1 when we removed over back to this old.
Oh,
Character
yeah.
sheet.
All right, Hanao, you have a 6 to hold, so...
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to that walled tree.
Fuck.
Just noticed that.
Yes, the walled tree. All right, you have refreshed on icon die, and anybody else who hasn't rolled? We'll get next session. Now back to the action.
I guess I'll wait for Jay to come back. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, I guess.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Did someone prompt me? I apologize.
Yeah, we were wondering if you were going to roll your Planeswalker die.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I don't hack that actually anymore.
What? Okay, your Prince of Shadow die then?
No, those all switched to Lich King when I did the whole reset.
So you should have
And you should have 4.
Oh.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, you get an extra icon die at 5th level.
So I just roll Lich King again? What do I do?
Yeah, I guess roll Lich King again if you
Well,
want to go
I guess-
exclusive.
Because you said you're only going to keep the first one on the Lich King, or when you rolled it, I can't remember.
Yeah, I did. And
So I guess you can just take that 6 if you want.
Is that okay then?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll take the 6 then.
All right. And back to the talking.
Listen, if you'd rather it could just be a remote conversation, I don't think that would really change much, but if it would make you feel more comfortable, we could
I
certainly
would
do that.
feel infinitely better if I was not face to face with the Lich King. Yes.
No problem.
Yeah, are you really sure that did you not just realize what you've just asked?
Who are you asking? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was asking Ferris. This is something.
Alright, hold on. I just
Okay.
need to get a messenger.
Oh,
Just kind of looks up into the trees.
Oh.
There we go. And he points to a branch, and there's this sort of squeak, and then just this body falls from the branches as this squirrel's soul is ripped out of it. It should just take a minute.
You're gonna probably need more squirrels.
Where are all of you right now?
I thought we were heading towards the forest. Is that not
yeah.
correct?
We haven't properly left. I just
Oh well, then wherever we would be, I guess it would be
That's
a
our
rat and
home
not a
base.
squirrel.
yeah. All right.
Whatever
Well,
is the appropriate small rodent.
you can be making your way towards the forest if you don't have anything else to do in the city.
I got nothing else to do.
I don't think I have any money to purchase anything.
All right. Bruno explodes. Not with fire, but just essentially every connecting bone comes apart and just flies through the air before circling back to create kind of a pillar of bone between all of you. And a airy green light kind of just slowly snakes up through the center of this pillar. And on the nearest wall, there's a projected shadow, and it's of a chair, an empty chair.
Oh, I apologize, Malkesh. It only did take one.
I mean, he's been waiting for a communication for a little while. Hey, boss, sorry to bother you. I know this is a little unorthodox, but they're a little squeamish about the whole dead thing. I thought you might actually want to talk to this gentleman. This is Ferris Finnegan.
Is he talking to the chair?
For the
And
record, if the Lich had a on away message, that would be the time to use it.
and moments later, you just hear directionless, just kind of as if the voice emanated from the center of your being, but out loud, eh? Oh, the Finnegan boy. And from almost off frame of the projected area, you see the shadow of what looks like an average-sized human man who walks into and then sits on the chair.
Oh, good.
It's
He knows
about-
about me.
It's about time we had a conversation.
Is it? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I didn't know that we were overdue for this.
Oh, no, well, I mean, you have been traveling with 3 people who are more or less either contractors or under my direct employ. So I know a little, and let's be honest. With the waves he makes, your father has been on my radar for a long, long time. It's a shame we couldn't recover all of him.
Yeah, real shame that.
So, boss, I know you're busy, and I know you don't have a lot of time to deal with things, but I thought it was best if we had a conversation about the dangers revolving around the Shards of Prophecy, because it seems like people are being a little blasé about it, and really, I couldn't think of someone more knowledgeable on the subject than you.
Yes. Well, I think it is as it is. It is. The shards create, well, the key to accessing the demonic consciousness and tapping into their ability to, well, it's unfortunate we haven't been able to study it properly, but layman's term would be to see into the future. And while we haven't had repeated trials, the one we have seen was quite disastrous. Almost brought the world to the brink of ruin. And as of that, it's an impossibly dangerous object. One that needs to be collected and locked away, never to be used. Otherwise, we risk this whole experiment being, well, useless data that needs to be reset.
Experiment.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, boss, this is Hun Hao.
Oh, one of the lost elves, aren't you?
Not lost, but yes.
No, it's I didn't find out about your people until, well, I arrived here. No, when I was still flesh and blood. No, I watched your people ascend that tree. Many cursed them for abandoning the fight on the surface. Entire race retreating. Not that I disagreed. It was wisdom of the current queen of the time. It's ultimately I would end up doing the same thing.
How do you... You were there?
Yes. That's the best way to put it. There's very, very, very few beings that could recall seeing and walking upon the surface when it was still uncorrupted and a thing of beauty. And I'm one of them. This necromancy was a necessary mastery that I could see my cause to the end.
Yeah, but speaking of that, these guys seem to think that you're trying to kill everybody. I mean, you know what I mean. Like,
Oh,
like
no.
wipe everything out intentionally. Like, that's your intended goal.
Oh, no,
Not a
no,
worst
that,
case scenario thing.
that would be an entire waste of time. Thousands of years wasted.
See, that's
I would
not
like-
credit.
I would like to avoid that if necessary.
Malkesh turns to Ferris. It's sort of a, you happy now?
Ferris just cocks an eyebrow.
Now, I'm glad that you introduced me to your new friends, Malkesh, but surely you had some other reason than some reassuring head pats?
Well, boss, I just don't like the negative press that's kind of clouding you right now, and especially in the party. These are my friends, you know? I mean, I started working for you as a way to help them, and if they don't trust me or think that my goals are in some way nefarious, I can't do what you'd like me to do, can I?
Always a proactive employee, you're not wrong.
So, I mean, really, I don't want anything from you so much as I would rather that they understand that I'm not doing this just for, you know, something silly like money. Or power, even, really. But it's kind of like everyone here knows the connections between me and you, and Amboise been very open about it, and even Lissy has been a little open about it. But it's one of those things where, you know, they seem to think that you're just trying to kill everybody, and I don't like that, because it kind of seems pointless for you to have to do that, considering you know as well as I do that that's kind of a natural occurrence anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're all on the same side here, right? We want to remove the demonic threat, right?
Yes.
Malkesh kind of looks at everybody to see if people are nodding their head or not.
Funhouse nods once.
So
No,
I don't. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yes, it's good. And I have no intention. This, as I said, this iteration of this experiment, I have no reason to want to destroy it. I just want it to produce the results I need, so that we can then apply it and retake the surface world, banish the demons to wherever they came from, and repopulate our lost land.
That sounds fantastic, but I have to ask, how do you plan on retaking the surface?
God, this is what this, as I said, this is why I needed time. This chunk, this continent was all I could save of the surface world. And I am doing my best to use it, to research how we do so, which is why whenever this land creates a great mind, I do my best to bring them into my employ so that we can work on this problem together, solve it, with all the time Undeath provides.
Really, it's not so bad, guys. I mean, trust me, you eat a lot less cake this way.
Once again, which is why this was unfortunate we couldn't recover your father.
Yeah, he was a bit of an asshole, sir.
You'll be surprised the compromises and changes of attitudes you see in people as they stand on the precipice of nothingness.
Malkesh just kind of nods. So, you guys got any other questions? It's kind of a busy guy, so.
So you want this completed orb of prophecy so we can retake the surface.
No, the Orb of Prophecy was already a fail, almost led to the point where I had to wipe this continent clean and start brand new. I never want that damned thing used ever again. I want it so at best I can lock it away forever, or at worst I can put... Well, actually, at best lock it away forever, and at best put some minds on a way to properly destroy it rather than shatter it. No. That should never be used again. Ever.
Well, he's got my agreement there.
You keep referring to this as an experiment. What's your end goal with this experiment, other than reclaiming the surface world?
I don't know. If you don't believe that that's the end purpose, then I suppose we can pull it back. This experiment is to create, well, to save some part of our glorious civilization so that we can create great minds. And with any luck, these great minds will create the way that we retake the surface. It's perhaps not a rigid single-purpose experiment, is it more a suite, an area for experimentation? Which is, once again, if that level of corruption was introduced once and again, then it would forever bias it towards the repopulation of demons. I'd have to start again, create civilizations from scratch, watch, oh no, look, there's fire again, ooh, now they can cook food, which is exciting in the first time you watch it, less so subsequent.
Now I'm trying to remember just off the top of my head. This iteration of the Lich, was he the first Archmage, or is this completely separate?
He is less the first Archmage and more a Archmage from the surface world. The only one that kind of made it.
Like, so they probably wouldn't have discussions on him in Granite Ostrom, like Ferris probably wouldn't know.
No,
about his
it would.
history.
It would essentially be very much like, this is the Lich King. They've always been the Lich King. They use powerful necromantic magics. If you use necromancy, it's usually power coming from the Lich King, and if it's not, he's gonna find out about it.
Ah.
Sir,
Now,
spoke
yes.
of conquest, retaking the surface world, and I think, if I'm remembering correctly, you even used the word purify, which is appropriate given the situation. But I have to wonder, with the World Tree's roots in the surface world, even with it corrupted and rotten, the World Tree draws life from that surface. I would very much want to see it pure. I would want to see the World Tree draw life from a bountiful world than a dead demonic one. But I would certainly hope that your conquest of the surface world wouldn't damage the roots of the World Tree.
Well, there's complications there. Hunhao, was it? Hunhao?
Yes.
The Elven Queen is... well, she works away at her own ways to deal with that threat. But sees it more as a defense of the new kingdom of the sky. She's reluctant to share information. And the World Tree itself, the entity that drives it, it's not exactly fond of the particular brand of magic that animates both myself and this entire continent. And it's less lucid moments, it's cut chunks from it, and while it would be a shame to lose such a powerful entity that could help in repopulating the natural world of the surface, that's its domain. As I said, the same way, if the corruption goes to the core, what's the point of purifying if you just have left another crack for entrance?
Hunhao kind of opens his mouth as if to say something, then closes it, furrows his brows.
I mean, you keep talking about the natural order. What happens once the surface is reclaimed? Do the undead get their rest? Do we try to live happily next to the animated corpses of our loved ones? What then? Do we just wait to die and then enter your service?
This magic is a means to an end. It's not nature of it. It's not the nature of itself. I want to restore the world to its former glory, and well, if I can just see my home whole once again, able to continue and persist as it once was, that's enough. Maybe it's time for some rest at that point. But Ferris, that's a long, long way off. This is not a problem we can solve in one mortal lifetime. Not a human, not an elven lifetime. We need this magic, as unnatural as it may be, to get to the point where we can reinstate the proper order of things. Anyway, while I have your ear, how goes your work, Malkesh? Anything to report?
So far so good, boss. Just getting back into the swing of things, you know. Different work, gotta get gear up into it. But I think it's going pretty well, with these guys being maybe a little more willing to listen to what I have to say. I think it'll go a lot easier. So I thank you for your time. Anything you can give us on the shards that you might have heard? Or Casey?
Ah, yes, the homunculus you were saying. No,
Yeah.
other than drawing attention to it, it's interesting. She draws the power from this corrupted item, which inherently makes her extraordinarily dangerous. However, that sort of soulless, untouchable weapon could be one of the ends we've been looking for this world to create. Still, the item must be recovered. And as much as I can think on it, taking away that source of power will surely destroy the homunculus.
Can she be redeemed? Or has Faustus corrupted her too bad?
No one's beyond redemption with a life and a death to find it. Only if they're brought into the jaws of this demonic scourge, timeless torment, twisting of the mind. That's what you need to find out.
Well, that's good news, right, Ferris?
I guess.
Alyssa, there is the matter of that bit of knowledge that you were supposed to collect payment for me for. How go that task? I don't sense the one who was in your presence before in your presence any longer. Surely you haven't lost tabs on someone who thought it best to just steal from me.
Mukesh sort of leans over and pokes at Alyssa.
Well, you see, a lot's happened between when we last spoke. And I found out a few things I probably should not have found out about. And it's complicated things. As you know, we mortals can get a bit complicated sometimes.
Oh, you do so much with so little time.
We try.
And kinda, he just leans back in the chair. Malkesh, is this under control?
We got it, boss. Don't you worry about it.
Alright.
Listen, give us time. Time is the one thing we've got. Don't worry. When I say time, I mean like our time, not your time. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I know,
We're
I
working
know.
on it.
So you've...
Patience, it's the one thing you're good at, boss.
That and wrangling countless genius souls. Oh, they're hard to keep on task, which is why I'm very much running out of time here. I need to attend to the research.
Boss, we'll take care of this.
I am very much hoping the next time that I come to find you for a report, you have something tangible to provide. I trust you.
Yeah. Well, we're working on it. One step at a time.
And Ferris, Hunal, I've heard so much, well, about you, Ferris, and now I'm very interested in you, Hunal.
Hunao kind of snaps out of being lost in thought and looks to the shadow, blinks a couple times, and just, thank you?
No, it's... I hope you do listen to Malkesh. I want, deep down, I want to be able to work together to solve this problem. And perhaps you can be the link to finally breaking this barrier between myself and at least the Elven Queen. I unfortunately think the entity that is that tree is beyond both of our comprehension. He stands up from the chair, or at least is projected that way. Well, I have some research to take care of. Toodaloo! And the pillar of bone collapses.
Mukesh just kind of waves, kind of looks at the pile of bone. Bruno, get yourself back together. I don't got time to do this today.
Ferris looks to both Malkesh and Lissy. How much have you told him about me?
Oh, thank God you guys sounded like idiots. That guy has such a real fetish You
Yeah,
didn't
what?
ask him. It's probably a good thing you didn't ask him, but you didn't ask him why it's geniuses he tries to collect. And she holds up both wings and does little air quotes around collects.
Well, to be fair, if we could do it, we would too.
What, collect geniuses?
I mean, think about it. How much easier would it be if you could have someone solve your problems that were beyond your scope?
I can solve my own problems.
Isn't that exactly what you do, though, Melkesh? You have a bone man there to get things off high shelves and open the
Yes.
top cupboards for you.
Exactly. And I mean,
Arrested-
honestly, you can't really, like, say that you've solved your own problems. Can you solve this demon problem? I can't. So we have group, we have friends. Friends are like
Yes,
that.
friends.
Arrested Development narrator voice. In fact, both Malkesh and Listy did collect souls.
Shh. When we do it, it's legit.
You guys.
I
didn't
mean,
ask me a
when he
question.
does it, it's super legit.
How much did you tell him about me?
Actually, I don't really told him much at all, honestly.
No.
Does he know that I'm carrying 1/3 of this giant orb?
Oh, I'm sure he knows more than that. He probably knows what blood type you are, to be honest.
Lissy?
No.
Now listen.
Kind
That didn't
of.
sound convincing.
He kind of thought it was your dad because I said it might have been your dad. Which is
good.
why he's now a ship. Okay, let's go. We've got a job to do.
Well, that was actually very nice of you, Lissy. The boss would be pissed, though.
Please don't tell him. For the love of God. For the love of a God, that's not
We're
that
gonna
God.
have to come up with something eventually.
I
Guess I'm
have
gonna get
been.
to work on this ritual for tracking this shipment now.
Yeah.
Did that answer any of your questions, though? Do you feel any more?
Well, we need to find something to help Casey survive this.
Funhouse lost in
suppose-
thought again, but he does not look comforted at all.
I suppose we could make something.
Oh, and also, yes, there's that talk about murdering the world tree. That's might not be sitting super well with our elf friend here.
Oh.
I didn't hear that part. I heard that the Elf Queen was taking care of that.
Well, she was looking at a different method.
Does the world tree have a soul?
Yes,
Oh.
it is truly alive, and not just in the sense that. And Hanao kind of does a sweeping gesture at the trees in the distance. They're alive. But it's not the thought, what he said about potentially killing the tree that bothers me. It's that he said it might be corrupt. And as far as I've always known, it feeds from the demonic surface, but it manages to purify it. Gods, if I could just show you the life that comes from its branches, you would know that it purifies that energy, but there could be a chance that there is corruption.
Well, if it needs that kind of like photosynthesis, no. The whole thing with, biology wasn't my thing. But anyway, if it needs the demons in order to purify what it purifies, then if the demons are gone, is that not a bad thing?
Well, I imagine that if it fed on wholesome life, well, wholesome
Then-
soil on the surface, it would be better, but I don't know. And I don't know if there isn't something in it at this point. As I said, it's alive. And you know how demonic energy can be, how it can corrupt and corrode.
Maybe the Elf Queen has some answers.
We can only hope, because we're not going to figure out anything sitting around here ruminating.
But see, guys, no one got hurt. You didn't even get offered a quote-unquote deal you can't refuse or anything like that. In fact, I think I took more heat than anyone in that conversation.
Oh, I don't know.
You did seem a little perturbed at you, Lissy.
He always seems that way with me.
To be fair, she's very behind on what she's supposed to be doing.
Not exactly a model contractor. Amboa speaks up.
I'm doing my best.
No, you're not.
Well, yes and no.
Just get away with it because you're cute. Stop it.
Amboa speaks up again. Well, look, I got myself killed a second time, so you have at least that up on me.
Yeah, I'm the only one out of these three that are alive. I think that's pretty good, actually.
Listen, I'm kind of alive.
You're teeming with life.
That is another thing.
Microscopic and otherwise.
That is another thing that I have to admit makes my stomach turn. The unlife is. I'm not against that magic, but it's strange.
I know. And Melkesh kind of walks towards him and kind of, takes his hand and puts his hand above his head. Just listen to my heartbeat. It's okay.
I don't hear
And
anything.
as you touch him, there's nothing for a few seconds, and there's thump, and then there's nothing. Thump. See? Heartbeat.
How are you doing that?
Well, I'll admit it requires quite a bit of concentration, but I can do lots of other things too. I can eat. I don't need to. I breathe, but I don't really need to. I can consume most things that be poisonous to a wide variety of life on this planet, but I don't need to. Yeah, I can do both. I think the turb he used was mostly dead, and I kind of get to decide when that counts and what it counts for. So I'm not dead. Mostly. It has its bonuses.
Hunhow just kind of looks a little bit shell-shocked. He glances at Ferris because he doesn't know what to do.
Lakesh is still holding the mouse hand.
I think he gets it, Melkesh.
Oh, okay. Lakesh kind of takes his hand back and wipes it on his vest.
Yeah, because the elf's the one with the dirty hands.
Hey, Melkesh has been wearing gloves for at least 2 years now, so I don't know what to tell you.
Hunhow just looks at his hand and shakes his head and kind of shivers before looking at Ferris. I think, yes, let's get to work on that tracking ritual.
You actually know that Wingspring, under the careful observation of Minerva's men, is going to meet you early in the morning at the before the drop time. You do have a little bit of a night to kill and set up camp.
Well, as soon as they would find a spot that's suitable for camping, Hunhow's going to disappear up a tree. You see a few branches rattle, and then just that happy sigh.
Hunhow, from this distance, you found a particularly tall tree, and you may just be at the edge of this forest, but you feel it's different. But instead of one large tree with its branches outstretching as far as you can see, providing a horizontal, endless sea of green, this time, as far as you can see, it reaches off into the distance of this blanketing area of forest. In the distance, you can see Narohama across the plains, and maybe Twin Lakes proper just peaking its tallest buildings on the horizon. But this is the most forest, most leaf, most green you've seen in a while. How do you feel?
Comfortable, relaxed. Hunhow's just gonna settle in and enjoy the view, more or less. He is definitely enjoying the return to the wilderness of Voices in the Wilderness.
A triumphant return to the wilderness, where wild things go. All right. You make camp. Does anybody else have anything they would like to do before sleeping?
Malkesh breaks out the seed mellows.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and, I guess, complete that ritual using. Because do we have the materials or the box yet?
You don't have the box yet.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I won't do that then. I guess lay out the ritual components and then just, yeah, take a spot by the fire.
Mhm.
I suppose Lizzie waddles up to Ferris with a ship in her hand. Wings.
What's this?
Well, it's something. It's what I'm working on. It's okay. It's one of the ships. It just needs a tune-up. But I wanted to sort of come and talk to you about sort of what happened.
Which time?
Well, the most recent time. Unless you wanted to talk about any other time.
Well, I already saw the
Look.
state that he was in.
When I found you, you weren't supposed to be a person capable of harnessing whatever the hell that thing is.
Well, yeah, we weren't supposed to be there.
No, none of us were, and yet we ended up in that place. I suppose I just wanted to be honest about the reason why I was in that place, and I was probably supposed to be there a little bit more than you guys. I've been looking for the shards of prophecy for the Lich.
And why are you working for that guy? You don't seem to be as...
Ferris, have you ever been in love? Like, love, like, real love.
First kind of looks up, thinks about it for a second. No, can't say that I have.
Then you're not gonna get a lot of this. I suppose I'm just trying to think the best
Ferris
way to put
immediately
this.
puts both of his elbows on his knees and his chin in his hands and leans forward.
That's really
like a big-
disconcerting with the
with a big
goblet
smile on
of
his face.
unimaginable power in your arm.
Waiting to hear this story.
The Lich considers Orlando his property.
Oh, I already knew that he
And-
was engaged, didn't I? Yeah, that's the thing that we already knew.
Yeah, and you know, I decided that I wasn't okay with this, so I struck a deal.
So you became his property.
In a
right?
way,
Right?
In a way, yeah. In so much in that, I was asked to collect all the shards of prophecy, and then once that was done, then he would go away and not be bothered about either Orlando or myself anymore.
And you, Orlando, could get married. That's adorable.
Well, yeah, Orlando doesn't know that's what I did. And when you do that to somebody that you love very, very much, things don't always end up the happiest afterwards. But saying that, I was not expecting you to be able to do whatever it is that you do with the shards, and the only thing I could do was kind of compensate at the time and try and combat whatever weird wibbly things those shards do, because I was confident I was going to be able to contain the shards, but adding a person to that made things extra complicated, because technically I'm not supposed to give a shit what happens to you.
Thanks. I
We
think
do. Malkesh walks over to the group standing there. We do, and he pats Ferris on the back.
We care about what happens to you a lot, Ferris.
Yes, we do, the tree says from above.
And, like, if for any reason we get more of these shards, I will do my best to make sure that you keep as much of your sanity as you possibly can.
I mean, that might not seem like it, but that means a lot. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but, when times get tough, I guess I'll just have to remember back that my friends are counting on me to keep it together.
Yeah, if you kind of go crazy, you become a demonic entity.
Oh no, it's okay. I'll turn him into a ship before that happens.
Please don't.
Good. Well,
It's a nice ship. I've
Just kill
got
me
the
and let
plans
whatever
already.
happens. Don't.
Do you want to see the blueprints?
No.
Because I've already mapped them all out.
In fact, yeah. Let me see those blueprints.
No, I don't really trust you now.
No. That's a
Um,
shame.
This is actually probably a good time to talk about end-of-life decisions, actually.
No.
I have a
Malkesh
feeling...
No.
Stream Teen Bible.
Well, I'm just saying, as I have a feeling you may be something that the Lich may want to collect.
When I die, I want to go back to the life force or whatever
That's
it is.
why I was
you have.
amazed that he seemed so much like an idiot. Can you imagine if he'd actually been bright?
Well,
Hey,
what
now.
I'm saying is, it's very hard to collect something that's sorted with a bunch of similar items, if you know what I mean. I can kind of make sure you get back to the life force, at least prevent your immediate collection, if you know what I mean.
Let's just hope it doesn't come to that, but sure, I guess keep me off his radar when I die.
I can do that. Just
That
for
is
you.
a good deal. You keep that deal.
But I have to tell you, it means that I may have to take you before you'd normally go.
On second thought,
I'm saying in a rocks falling and everyone dies situation, specifically, not in a hey, we're not doing so well in this fight kind of situation. You know what I mean?
so what you're saying is if this continent is coming crashing down, you're gonna kill me? Is that?
No, I would have to assume you weren't going to survive first, and kill is really a dirty word. I would have to rip the soul out of your body.
That Let's table this
Malkesh
for
is
now.
really bright though, because so he'd figure it out really quickly.
Like, I'm pretty good at knowing when people are gonna really
Yeah.
die.
He's
That's-
really good at that.
Let's table this for now. Maybe ask it to me when I'm, gasping for my last breath. That seems like a good time to ask.
No,
I don't wanna think about
it's
this
really
right now.
not. Most people aren't able to speak when they're on their last gasp. Throat collapses, all that, nerves just start deteriorating, brain signals weaken, that all jazz.
Malkesh, I know you're trying to help. I'm a little
guess
freaked out right now.
Why do we
So
always
I-
walk
At
away
that-
from these conversations with ferrets freaked out?
At that point, an upside-down elf head just pops out of the bottom of the trees. Leave him alone. You're making him uncomfortable.
I'm too young to be
I'm
faced with my own mortality right now.
I'm sorry, I'm just
And love!
trying to be helpful.
And love, yes. You guys are teaching me some very conflicting life lessons right now.
So what do you really think of Hunhow, ferrets?
What?
At that, Hunhout falls out of the tree, stunned by whatever Lissy's implying.
Well, you mammals all like each other, don't you?
Malkesh has to stop and think very hard for a while to determine whether or not he's a mammal or not.
Hunhout's gonna dust himself off, walk over, pick up Lissy.
He's married, you know that, right? Like, he has kids.
Yeah, well,
He's gonna
That's
go
never
put
stopped
Lissy
any
in the
other
tree
mammals.
corner.
Yeah, put Lissy in the corner.
She's getting put in the corner. Although for a moment when they mention Hunhow's wife, he stiffens up before moving on without saying anything.
well, that got serious really quickly. Now I feel
So,
bad.
Seed mellow?
Ferris looks around all nervously. Delilah, you ever loved anybody? Please help.
That sounded so much like a pickup line.
You just see Delilah sitting like across the way from you guys, and she just has a seed mellow, just toasts it with some fire magic, and then pops it in her mouth. No, keep going.
I had a date once. They
Tell
didn't
us about
show
it.
up.
Oh, why not?
I had to eat their meal too.
Well, at least
I
you
don't
won in some
miss
regards.
not having to eat. I'm kind of glad I don't have to buy expensive meals now.
Well, yes, but eating's enjoyable.
Yeah, I do it occasionally, mostly for cake. But like, all the money I've saved, goodness, it's an addictive habit, guys.
You could always try taking just the bounty of the land. It's much cheaper, I assure you.
Well, but if I don't have to do it at all,
You just hear Amboise. This is what I was telling you back in the Orklands when you constantly were trying to feed me. You
Listen,
get it
I
now.
have good intentions.
You
I
were
also
trying
called
to
you Mr. Tibbs. It was
feed
a
an undead cat?
term of endearment. Well, I didn't know he's undead. Just that he had been dead. Then he wasn't.
And when he wasn't feeding him, he was affixing wings and claws to him.
Yeah, that was
Also,
fun.
that's how I got those. I thought it was peculiar. I've read about cats before, and then I met this one. The books were very off compared to what I first saw.
Well, Amboise isn't a typical cat. He's also Nas's grandfather.
And a dragon!
And a dragon.
Hunhouse
And
brows
developed crafting.
further together, and you can see the gears behind his head just slowly trying to turn to comprehend what he's being told, and it's not clicking.
But also not really her grandfather. But they
Yes,
are
yeah.
right. I am was a bit of an expert on affixing living things to other living things.
And you think my ships are messed up?
think you're all messed up.
I still have that scroll of limb attachment. Do you want an extra one?
What?
Well, I got it somewhere. And he keeps
He
going.
already has 5.
Everybody could use.
Well, I mean, but even numbers are better, right?
God damn it.
Hunhow looks at Ferris. What is a scroll of limb attachment?
Well, usually we use it in cases of severe disfiguration or injury, but I guess Malkesh just wants to use it for fun.
I mean, what else is surgery for?
We could give him a squirrel tail. There's a squirrel over there.
Malkesh looks at Hunhow's rear. Squirrel tail. Where
I'm
do we find
sleeping
one
in
big enough?
I'm sleeping in the tree tonight, and I expect to see nothing new on my body.
Man, I wish I could climb trees.
Would you like to see the forest from the top?
I'm afraid all I would see are more elves.
No. Well, I didn't see any Lotus up there. Just lots of green. Very pretty. Not quite what I'm used to, but it's good to see green again.
I used to be green. I'm a little pale these days, though. Wonder if I can fix that. You kind of eyes shift from side to side. I hear cuttlefish are able to change their color.
Yeah, I might be able to help if you really want to.
I mean, I don't think we have albino goblins. I tend to stick out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I can work on that complexion if
To be fair, you
Oh my.
stick out for more than one reason.
Ferris breaks out a makeup kit. It's got glitter in it.
What?
Of course, it's got glitter in it.
Why would?
It has a label that says Fizz Vinegar on it.
Oh god, we
What?
got Fizz Finnegan's makeup kit by mistake.
No, look, they get mixed up. They're all monogrammed FF.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's exactly why we don't trust Casey. It's not Fiona.
Oh god.
Yeah, with a little concentration, I'm sure I could, make more of a permanent disguise self spell work on you.
Well, maybe later. That's not really the priority, and if I fall too far behind, I'm gonna get more angry bone calls.
Oh my
Hunhow
god.
opens his mouth to respond to that before shaking his head and closing it, thinking better of what he was gonna say.
I love it.
Malkesh kind of looks over. Bruno is still putting himself back together.
Shouldn't you help him?
Should, not going to.
Oh, okay.
Malkesh kind of walks over and picks up the skull off the ground and puts his hand in it like a puppet. I was a very bad boy in life. And kind of cast the skull on the ground, and the jaw and the top separate and just kind of roll about. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm technically his eternal punishment.
Oh no, I believe that.
Sometimes revenge is just not quite good enough.
If he was a bad man in life, was it a personal thing, or is it just someone the Lich
Wait,
assigned to you?
does this skeleton look familiar in any way?
It's an orc skeleton.
Like maybe from the Orklands?
Mm-hmm.
I
Did we
see.
kill an orc in the Orklands?
We killed several.
Many.
There's one in particular.
Was he not in charge of the other clan?
When we learned Malkesh's true name.
Oh fuck.
Out of character, this is the one that killed his mother.
Oh, wow, okay. I am curious, though, because Sunhow did ask, did this one personally, do something bad to you, or were you just assigned him by the Lich?
Malkesh doesn't answer, kind of turns away from the group.
Gotcha.
Parrish just kind of nods, and at that awkward silence, he no longer tries to enlist Delaz's help and just gets ready to go to bed.
Malkesh pops a final seed mellow and then goes into his backpack and pulls out a hammock and starts putting it up.
Hunhow walks over and just kind of places a hand on top of Malkesh's head, offers him a gentle smile. I'll show you the top of the trees tomorrow at sunrise. It'll be beautiful, I promise.
Malkesh just kind of nods solemnly.
Then Hunhow's gonna climb up a tree and get comfy for bed.
Are we gonna post anybody on watch, or are we just gonna?
Would Dan be that mean to us?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Dan?
That's not mean, that's just kind of his job.
Hey Takashi, wake me up in 3 hours? No, 4 hours. I'll take over watch.
I can take the watch, guys. It's
Are you
kind of
sure
one of
you've
those
got
benefits.
You've got your hammock out and everything.
Oh, well, I didn't mean I wouldn't sort of be comfortable, but I don't
Oh,
really need to do that anymore. It's not really going to keep me from being effective tomorrow.
Okay, well thank you,
Alright,
Malkesh.
well, yeah, I'll take that.
And as you all settle into sleep, you sleep easily, falling into a surprisingly deep sleep until almost all of you look to your left, your right, and for those of you who are asleep, you see each other. You're in a strange, huge, cavernous room. Almost seems it goes on a long, long way. And as it stretches on, you begin to move through it. And as you move through it, you start to see structures being formed before your eyes. You're seeing walkways, you're seeing machines, you're seeing lights, and you're seeing a lot of strange piping, some of it terminating in what looks like a very, very sharp end. And you see chains, heavy, huge, so many chains. Until you come to a platform of which you see two figures arguing. But before you get a good look at them, they all break up. And as you kind of begin floating into the air, you see what is at least familiar to Ferris and Lissa, similar to kind of that demonic battlefield. And you see a stretching expanse. You see the bodies of demons, and you see in the distance the blurred figure of one particularly large one, and another figure kneeling before it. And you gain somewhat more control over your action.
Does this demon look familiar? The large one.
Not, you can't tell from this distance.
So yeah, Ferris is gonna try and get closer as best he can.
Yeah, Hunhow's gonna cautiously move up with Ferris, his weapon raised. If he
And
has
as you-
his sword.
And as you get closer, you see it goes from demonic bodies to what looks like the epicenter of a fight. That kind of this was where something was being crushed in towards, surrounded. A last stand as you kind of climb a hill towards this. And Hunhow, you notice that as you get closer, some of the bodies are not demonic. But you still can't make out either of these figures at the center.
Hunhow's going to pause and take a better look at one of the not demonic bodies.
And the body you see is Ferris. Or someone... It's almost as if your brain sees Ferris, but there's just enough difference that it doesn't seem quite right.
Roll sanity.
That's not that game.
Hunhow's going to not tell Ferris. In fact, he's going to, as carefully as he can, sort of roll the body over so it's face down so that Ferris doesn't see himself dead, and check some of the others to see if they're all there.
I'm trying to think if I can do like a perception check to see if I see Hunhow do that.
You find Alyssa, you find Carnifex, you find Gunhild, you find Nastasia. You don't find yourself or Melkesh.
Hunhow's going to stand up. Ferris, have you been kept moving towards it? What it is?
Yeah. I'm not gonna, because I think I said Ferris was moving forward first, so he probably didn't see it.
Then Hunhow's gonna try and catch up with Ferris and get a better look to see who is kneeling before this demon. He's more interested in the demon itself, though.
Yeah. You see something strange, because as you all approach, the figure you see kind of reaching for their sword, crawling towards it, clearly wounded after a long, impossible fight, is Shoreward. And as you get closer, you see the demon, perhaps corrupt, but vaguely familiar. But you all may not see the same thing. Who do you see in this demon?
Oh shit. Ferris would probably see Florentine.
Hunhow, who do you see?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how to phrase it.
Alright, Alyssa, who do you see? Well, Hunhow thinks.
Gosh. She'd see probably, it'd be very hard to describe it. It'd be things mixing and changing. At one point, probably, enemies that we'd seen along the way, all sort of merging and then changing, like Merrick and maybe even Rixis, and then changing again.
Well, Hunhao wouldn't actually see so much a familiar face, as in one of their friends or enemies. What he'd see is a tremendous creature that that is segmented like a centipede, just very long, segmented, with multiple dozens and dozens of legs that each end in a terrible grasping limb, yet somehow moves with the weird cadence of a snake. And it would be very intimately familiar to him. This terrible snake-like demon.
And then you watch Shorewort kind of crawl towards the sword. And as he reaches out to it, each of you in the particular way your vision would see it happen, watch that demon just obliterate Shorewort. And then this time from behind you, you hear his voice. And that's when we lost.
Spins around.
And you see Shorewort this time standing.
Does he have his head this time?
He has his head. He has never appeared headless in a vision.
Oh, that's right. Is this... How far into the future is this?
This is... What's the best way to explain this to you? This is technically farther into the future, but it's also already happened. This is already a memory assimilated into the demonic consciousness.
So they believe they've already won.
Oh, no.
Have already won?
This world is already lost. As I said, this is where we lost. Not just us here, but everybody in this particular existence.
So this is an alternative world? Hunhao hasn't really turned to face Shorewort. He's still standing sort of action ready to attack the demon and facing it, but looking over his shoulder to talk to Shorewort.
It's one of many possibilities. A possibility that made it to the break, which is impressive. It's not all of them that do that.
The break?
One of those things you'll learn in time. This is a brief amount of time. You only brushed up against the power of the stone again, so I can't grab you. I only have a moment to give you this warning. And he looks right at Ferris. You've aggravated them. You've shunned their power. And everything you do or hear or see from now will be to break you until you use it.
Ferris kind of looks actually like visibly shaken by that statement.
Or until they find someone who will.
Casey.
They won't get at you.
Malkash isn't with us right now, is he?
No.
He didn't go to sleep.
It's hard to have a dream quest when you don't sleep.
Right. Ferris just kind of looks down at his gauntleted hand and briefly considers removing the shard, but then kind of shakes his head. He's like, "This is a dream. It's not going to matter here."
They will not get to you, Ferris. It's not just you who stands arrayed against them.
Yeah, have more faith in what I can do.
Oh, you have more advantages than you think. I mean, and he points to Hun Hao. He's usually dead in most realities.
Hun Hao kind of freezes for a moment.
There, you see? All better.
Was this? Because this is which version of you are we talking to? Are we talking about the version of you that betrayed the Crusader, or?
And he just kind of laughs and... No, it's disappointing to see that it was a particularly weak version of me in this world. But...
So that was you. He kind of points back to where that Sherwart had been.
Of what you see, that is an echo of that man. But let me tell you, even what agency I have to give you this warning is just another step in their path towards destruction. And you wake up.
Hun Hao's gonna kind of jump with a start. Run a hand from his forehead to his chin. And just sigh before starting to climb down the tree to go check on Ferris and Lissy.
Ferris wakes up in a cold sweat, but he doesn't shoot up from bed like he has before. He just kind of lays there and stares up at the sky.
Malkash is standing over the fire, just kind of poking at the last little bit of ashes.
As Hun Hao gets to the bottom of the tree, he would just kind of look at Malkash. Can you get that fire going again, please? I'd like to put on a pot for tea.
I think so. Hold on. He kind of starts digging around for the pile of sticks from last night, and instead of, doing the reasonable thing and getting out his flint and tinder, he just literally reaches into his belt, pulls out what kind of looks like would be kind of construed as like a primitive handgun, and just there's a floosh noise as an alchemical flare is fired into the pile of sticks. Fire's on.
Hun Hao kind of jumps at the whoosh before just, trying to shake it off, and heads over to Ferris to put a firm hand on his shoulder. You saw it too?
Hey, Malkash was right. I'm gonna have to take this.
You won't bear it alone. In fact, if we come across this shard of prophecy, it might be better to split the load. Is there any way I could carry it?
I don't see why we couldn't. I just need to... It needs to not... I just can't fuse it. Shouldn't be difficult.
No. Well, when you're ready to get up, I'm going to put on some tea. But first, I'm going to go check on Lissy.
Is he still in the tree?
Has she made a little nest for herself?
Yes. Actually, well, I mean, I can't let that whole fush thing go unnoticed. I want one now.
Oh, I'll make you one. Won't take that long. Need some sulfur though.
I'm not sure that'd be a good idea. We don't want to burn the whole forest down.
I can probably make a way to harness that. If you really want to separate or keep them separate, I can probably figure out a way to do so.
That would probably be best, but hang on a moment. And then Hunhao would pull out the kettle from wherever the hell he keeps all his traveling gear and his giant two-handed sword.
It's just a big leaf that wraps in on itself.
Yep. He'd go ahead and put the kettle on the fire, more or less. Start boiling some water and make tea. But I think that would be a good idea, Lissy. At this point, I think splitting the burden between me and Ferris would be advantageous. That way, not one of us is bearing it alone.
She's looking at his sword. So, what's that made out of then?
Hunhao kind of looks to it. Well, wood from the World Tree and demon glass.
I might be able to work with that. And Malkesh's interesting little device.
You're not going to burn it, are you?
Oh god, no, 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 no. 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 You'll be able to burn other things, though.
I think she's saying she wants to make your sword into a flaming sword.
That just sounds difficult when it's made out of wood. Well,
Oh,
not
no, but it's
necessarily
made out of-
difficult, but one use.
It's made out of living wood. It'll
I've done
be
it before.
fine.
To be fair, there are certain reagents we can put on the wood that would prevent it from catching fire, or certainly at least decrease the speed at which it might.
You were thinking right up my alley, my friend.
Just use magic.
It is also my favorite thing that Hunhao and Ferris are shaking and thinking, and after seeing that, Lissy's response is, "We need more guns."
We
Yeah.
definitely need more firepower.
Malkesh didn't have the same experience, but he would agree.
Malkesh, I'm gonna tell Malkesh what we saw.
I'm glad you will, because if you weren't gonna, I was.
So what? Y'all have one of those dreams again?
Yes, it was unpleasant for everyone.
Oh, suck. Why can't we all just have pleasant dreams where we're someplace nice and good things happen instead of all being dead around a pile or something like that?
Like the beach?
Well, I mean, you weren't dead, I guess. That's.
Wait, I was joking. Are
Well-
you serious? That's what we saw?
Yes, there were bodies. You
I
all
wasn't
were among
there?
them. No. Well, no, you weren't among them. Most of
That's
us
weird.
were.
Where would I be?
I don't know.
Did I get locked in a locker again?
And if we're being completely truthful, neither was I.
Interesting.
I don't know
What
where.
about the rest of our group?
We weren't faring too well.
Yeah, Hunhao just kind of shakes his head.
Like, Gunhill surely was, like, clobbering some people, right?
She had, but by the time we were viewing,
Wait, you're saying Gunhill
It was
died?
everybody. It
there
was
were-
definitely everybody.
There were no survivors, Malkesh. Save for
Guys,
the two
it's
of us
just a
that were missing.
dream.
It
Don't
does.
give too much to it.
It doesn't make it less disturbing. Moreover, there was Shorewart. That's his name, right?
Ferris is finally standing up, and he hasn't
Wait, was
quite.
that that pirate dude?
In this reality, he was, well, seemed like he was that reality's version of Gunhild.
Actually, I'm really interested how Shorework can do what he does. Because he was very much not alive. I'm right. We saw him very much become
Decapitated.
unalive. Yes.
But that doesn't mean he's dead.
Like,
No,
I don't think
but-
they're the same.
It takes
No, they're
a certain
definitely not.
something.
Magash kind of turns his neck to the side and you can hear it crack.
Look, I can't do all that. I don't know why. I don't know why you got all these powers. Anyway,
Magash just looks up. I don't know.
Being
I chased the right
cooperative.
foxes.
oh, so because I've been a stubborn bird, I'm still alive. That's good to know. That's good. I can deal with that. Anyway. I'm sure we can change your... What type of weapon is it again?
Makahuidal.
I'm sure we can take your your sword
Huidal.
and
Maka.
Wacka?
Huidal.
she actually
Weasel.
she
Whack-a-weasel. Got it.
she actually whistles.
Ferris, help me out here. Maka Huidal.
She starts making bird
Wacka-weasel.
noises.
Look, I don't know what you people call your slapping sticks.
Slapping sticks. I like it.
Hunhow just kind of puts both palms on his face and shakes his head.
My mom didn't teach me that much ancient Elvish. It's all over my head. I'm sorry, Hana.
Come on, Hannah. Let's go clean up that whack-a-weasel.
Makahuidal.
Whatever. Anyway, this way.
Hunhow kind of eyes the kettle to make sure that it hasn't boiled over at this point and follows Malkash.
Mukesh goes into his backpack and pulls out a bunch of alchemical reagents. Pulls out some cloth. Like, okay, so what I need you to do is I need to get all the dirt and grime and blood and people parts out of it as much as you can, okay?
I can do that.
Okay, good. You clean up that whack-a-weasel, I'll go talk to Lissy and see what's going on, okay?
Hunhow just sighs and nods, not even trying to correct Malkash this time.
Good, okay. Keep an eye on Bruno, make sure he doesn't walk away. Bruno does not have legs attached to him currently, so that should be pretty easy.
Hunhow's gonna get himself some water in a rag and there's no way I can say this that doesn't sound like an innuendo. He's going to clean his sword.
He waxes his whack-a-weasel. Got it.
No, he's waxing his wood.
All right.
He's
While
polishing
Hunhow
his bowl.
While Hunhow cleans Macahwil you see on the horizon the group of Wingspring and Minerva's men bringing the container earlier than the normal drop point, and they would put it there. And then most of them would clear out, and then from across the way, Wingspring would make eye contact with one of you and just kind of give like a little salute and leave with the rest.
Alright, we're gonna have to break up the camp and hide everything.
That shouldn't be
Is it
too
just
hard.
me or is that kobold just really unpleasant?
Why is it kobold?
Is
They-
that okay
they-
to say?
They eat boots. I mean, there's not a whole lot. Nothing that isn't weird.
Oh, fantasy racism.
I'm just not sure it's okay to be calling all kobolds bad.
I mean,
It's how Ferris sleeps at night.
Since he shanked that one in the throat.
when he's not having otherworldly nightmares.
I just
Right.
love how Ferris is having trouble because he shanked a single kobold in the throat, and Malkesh murdered the entire rest of the restaurant.
Yeah, but Malkesh is a
doesn't
little bit more
sleep.
blasé about, Well, there you go. You see, he doesn't sleep well. Because he's not sleeping at all.
He doesn't sleep at all.
He doesn't sleep well because he's not good at it.
Yup. Anyways, Hun
mean,
Hao
you don't
would go
want him
ahead and
trying to
pour
sleep.
everybody a cup of tea, even Malkesh, before starting to break camp. He kind of suspiciously eyes the fire that Malkesh started with the alchemical burn stick, and just not quite sure how to put it out. He kicks a little dirt at it.
It reacts like regular fire.
And turns the dirt into something.
It becomes gold. No, I'm just kidding.
I figured it out!
No, the initial ignition is, of course, alchemical. The actual fire itself is then normal.
Okay, then yes, Hun Hao's gonna kick dirt on the fire until it goes out, just to extinguish it quickly.
So, what's this about dreams, Lissy?
Things have got a bit weird since coming into close contact with the prophecy shards.
All the more reason to give it to the Lich, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, I don't disagree with that. It's just I wasn't expecting it to be attached to somebody that I actually care about when I thought about turning it in.
Well, we'd be turning it in to protect him, wouldn't we?
Well, yeah, but we're not going to be turning him in to protect him.
No, I don't know. Ferris
But-
stays with us. What fun would that be if we turned him in?
I think the Lich wants Ferris, as well as the prophecy shards.
Well, he hasn't asked for Ferris yet, so I think for the moment, I think we should just go with what he has, what he wants, which is the shards.
Well, you know how we're not 100% sure what'll happen if we take the shards from Casey?
Well, yeah, but that's because she's an unnatural abomination of Faustus's magical tampering.
That's not a very nice way to talk about her parents, but yes.
Well, her parent, her creator was an asshole.
This
And
is also
we don't
true.
really know she's much better necessarily.
Well, the problem that I have, right, is that Ferris reacts in a certain way around the shards, which makes me think that maybe Ferris maybe kind of sort of might be similar to Casey, and if we try and take the shards from Ferris, something not very good might happen.
Yeah, but anything that would happen would be better than him losing it and becoming a corrupted, horrible beast, wouldn't it?
Well,
I'm
there must
guessing
be a
that's the
reason-
positive outcome.
There must be a reason why he can meld them together. Do you not
Bad
think
luck.
that he could eventually control it?
Maybe, but is this something that we want controlled or something we want removed?
There must have been a purpose to it to begin with,
Maybe,
before
but
it all got all wibbly.
I almost think that's past worrying about. Our primary concern is protecting Ferris, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And secondary is to defeat the threat against the world via the demons, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Doesn't seem like a bad second option, I suppose. But it's broken, right? And if we fix it so that it's actually fixed, as opposed to kind of sort of just smushed together, wouldn't that maybe do the same sort of thing?
Malkesh looks visibly concerned.
I mean, I don't think I could fix it by myself. hey, I mean, maybe you couldn't even fix it at all. I don't know. I you know, tinkerer by nature. Things that are broken fascinate me. I think I broke Jay. Sorry, Jay.
Actually, I think he had to step away for a sec. There's
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
yeah.
I guess speaking of Ferris, as he like walked away from the group to the goods, he was snapping on his gauntlet, and as he did so, he kind of paused for a moment and looked down and kind of separated the little covering that Lissy had made, where she kind of stuck the shard of prophecy in place. And he kind of stares at it for a moment, and then he just kind of reaches in there with his non-gauntleted hand and tries to remove it as best he can. Just tries to pull it out of the gauntlet. I don't remember how well Lissy put it in there, if it's capable of being removed, but
Well, it's like, yeah, it would be like a little harness for it.
yeah. So he just kind of takes it out, and
The moment you touch it, you can kind of feel that focus of just kind of when it started to pull you into visions or visions or dreams or what before, but the moment it's pulled out, it's almost, you get a little bit of whiplash, as if you just return to reality.
kind of shakes his head and then just kind of stows it away in one of his pockets like he had been doing before.
Ferris, you have effectively removed the power source from your gauntlet. It will no longer provide you any bonus except the spell steal ability.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I disappeared a second there. I had family literally walking on me.
Oh, sorry, Jay.
So I couldn't exactly respond. What happened there? I'm sorry.
Ferris just took this shard of prophecy out of his gauntlet.
And put it back in his pocket. That I saw. What led up to that?
He didn't want to be seen using the shard.
Probably not a bad choice.
Now, kind of, if this was...
Of course, he didn't tell anybody that. He was kind of walking away as he did it. But
Well, if Funhouse saw this, he would just kind of give a little silent nod of approval.
and then I think Lissy had some questions for Malkesh, or maybe I can't remember.
Sorry, yeah, last question was, wouldn't it be better if it was all together and we could control it, kind of a thing? Am I correct?
Well, when you say it like that, I sound like a power mad zealot.
That's kind of how the question came out. I'm sorry to say. And I was about to say, Malkesh kind of looks at you oddly, because that was exactly how he interpreted it.
She'll just wave her wing and say, "Don't worry about it. I don't know. I didn't really sleep very well."
Well, I understand that. I think we need to be very careful when we're dealing with this kind of power about what we talk about using, you know?
Oh, well, I'm not particularly bothered about the power.
But I mean, we know it's dangerous, right? We are agreed on that?
Malkesh, everything around us is dangerous. Have you not looked at our group? Gunhild has a fucking cannon hammer, for heaven's sakes.
Kind of shrugs his shoulders. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but this is a different kind of dangerous, isn't it? Like, this is world-ending kind of dangerous.
What, you mean like the
Right.
Lich kind of dangerous?
Well, but we can do something about this, can't we? I mean, what do you propose we do about the Lich? Because I don't got that many souls in my back pocket.
Well, we need to get as much souls as he has, and then we can storm the castle. Sorry.
Marcus just kind of looks down at his chest and pats his belly. I don't know if I can hold that much.
Yeah, but the Shard of Prophecy might actually be able to.
I don't know, Lissy. I trust you, but I'm concerned about this thing. It's especially if it's giving people dreams like this. Like, that's not something most people can handle. I mean,
No,
Ferris could barely handle his own mortality talking around a campfire. Imagine the dream was much more unpleasant.
he's a lot younger than I actually gave him credit for.
He's mature for his age. How old is he again?
Not sure.
I changed it. Let me double check.
Do you think that you count like rings or something?
He's 30. He's 30 years old.
Oh, he's older than Malkesh.
And he's not.
I think
You
he's
what?
one of the older characters other than Hunhow.
Malkesh is 26.
And he's not even got a girlfriend?
Malkesh has
Or a
never even had a
boyfriend?
date.
I think you were there. You were there during
Or
the
a
side
friend?
session. He's had friends.
He's had friends.
He's not good at keeping
He's
them.
had family. Most
Not
of them
good,
were
at
killed.
not good at keeping those either.
No.
Well, sort of killed.
Dead
He's
is.
kind
Anyway.
of obnoxious. It's hard to spend a lot of time with him.
I apologize for making you feel uncomfortable.
No, it's fine. I'm concerned about this shard, and I just don't see any better way of dispose of it than put it in the hands of someone that wants to lock it away and has the power to actually do that. Because I can't. I don't know anyone that I would trust to do it. I mean, don't think that I trust the Lich implicitly. It's just, he's kind of in the same direction we are as a party, and would seem really bothered if, everything went to naught and was horribly corrupted and wiped clean, and he'd have to sit through all that again. So it's in his interest to prevent that, right? Even if we don't necessarily trust his motives entirely.
I think that you have to remember that the Lich is out for himself first and foremost.
Oh no, I understand that entirely. In fact, I can relate to it a lot. It's just we don't have much better option. The Archmage is gone. The Council is not what it used to be. And I don't
Out of
know
character for a second, does Malkesh know what Orlando did?
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, I mean,
I suppose we could always go look for the Archmage.
we could. That would be an option. How do we hide that from the Lich, though? It's kind of a little away from where we're going,
That is a very good question.
And we're already... Okay, you mostly, but we're already pretty far behind in our to-do list.
Hey, I've got Ferris, and I've got... Well, I don't have Casey, but I know where Casey vaguely is, and if
Marcus
Hunhow
kinda
gets
just
this...
puts his hands on the hips. Like, really?
If Hunhow gets this third option, then I'll know where every single bit of the prophecy shard is. And then I'll have done exactly as I was supposed to do.
I thought you were supposed to bring it to him.
I will figure that out when we have all 3 pieces in one location.
Uh-huh. And Orlando?
Orlando's really mad at me right now. I don't know where he is. He's probably drunk.
And what's your
Just
feeling?
like
about
I
that?
am. Too many questions.
No,
Not enough.
No,
Not
I think
enough.
now's the time.
No, I
Where-
think Hunhow had that sword, and I need to have a look at it to see if I can build a harness to make it into a cannon. So, thank you very much. I'm gonna go look at the Markawittle.
I mean, Whack-a-weasel.
Wickle wackle.
Well, Kish just kind of walks behind her going, but...
Hunhow,
Ferris,
I need your weapon.
Yes.
you remember essentially what Wingspring explained to you, which was he's going to drop it off slightly early, but you need to get the plan on the go quick, because if it's there too long, they're going to suspect something. If it's there to be discovered. So he, in a very obnoxious way, pretty much is like, be quick and don't fuck it up!
I'll assume Nos is in chinchilla form or whatever tiny form
I believe she went with
Mouse.
a mouse.
Mouse. Okay, well, yeah, so we'll let her in there, and then Ferris is just going to cast a ritualized version of his arcane mark cantrip that, get the actual description pulled up here. Cantrip creates a magical sigil on an object or person. These sigils are usually plain to see, though a deliberately invisible mark can be made. It takes a difficult perception or magic check to notice. And the way I want to ritualize it is basically, instead of having it just be a single mark, I kind of want it to leave a trail that can be easily followed.
Mhm.
And so Ferris will kind of lay his hand on the crate and attempt to do that thing that I said. Let's see how fate treats me now. These dice. God damn it.
Yeah, we didn't roll out the ones at the start of this, so just remember that.
I should have rolled out the 3s too.
It goes, and you are successful in this ritual. You worry. There's something to it that makes it seem like something's not right, or it's harder, or it's frustrating you, but you get it done in the end, and you first chalk it up to, maybe rust, or maybe the fact that you're casting without the aid of the gauntlet right now. But you're able to get it on the crate, and you will be able to track it. It might take a little longer to set than you expected. You may be a little further behind. But it's there. But this bothers you that something was not so right. And eventually, when you clear out and hide, a group of kind of strange-looking, maybe like thug type hired help will come out, look, quickly search the area, and then go in to pick it up and then begin tracking it into the woods. And as it goes into the woods and you give time for the trail to appear and to allow them to kind of get ahead enough that you won't raise suspicion, something occurs to you that this particular type of tracking spell can get interference when there's another nearby powerful tracking spell. And if you would do, and don't let me put words in your characters, but would you investigate that?
Like as we're following it,
Or just as this thought comes to your mind, what would your response to that be?
So I'm sorry, I'm just blanking right now. So basically, we haven't started following yet, but the possibility is if there's another nearby tracking spell, that it could interfere with Ferris's. That's the
Yes.
idea. Okay,
You
so
think
it's not,
you think that it's not you. It's almost like a class that you half slept through came back to your head, and you're like, "Oh shit! I was supposed to sweep for other spells first."
right? Yeah. Ferris will keep it on the DL. That he forgot that. Also, that he's severely doubting his spellcasting abilities without using demonic influence, and just pretend like everything is going okay. But deep down, he's like kicking himself repeatedly. Because like the time has passed for him to check for any other tracking spells, right? Like there's nothing.
I'm not going to stop you.
Oh well, I guess. So yeah, after they left, Ferris is gonna check to make sure Delilah's not looking too closely, because he kind of just did that without thinking, and yeah, try and I guess sense magic.
Yeah.
That's not his anyway. That's the wrong one. Cancel that. I did it again. I keep accidentally clicking the naturally convincing instead of prodigal wizard. There we go.
Well, you're trying to convince people you didn't fuck up.
Yep.
That's a good one. And as you kind of sweep, you realize that there is another tracking type spell. Maybe not of the exact same variety, but similar enough coming around. And you look around and you look for the origin of it. And it's coming from Gunhild. And that's where we'll stop for today. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Right.
Good night.
Right.